नमस्कार, स्वागत है आपका स्वराज एक्सप्रेस के खास कार्यक्रम ऑन रिकॉर्ड में। और इस प्रोग्राम के जरिए हम आपकी मुलाकात करवाते हैं देश के बड़े न्यूज मेकर्स के साथ। आज हमारे साथ एक बहुत खास मेहमान जुड़ रहे हैं जो कि अमेरिका से स्काइप पर जुड़ रहे हैं और वो जाने जाते हैं एज अ टेलीकॉम इंजीनियर, इन्वेंटर, एंटरप्रेन्योर। और ये वो शख्स है जिन्होंने टेलीकॉम रेवोल्यूशन को शुरू किया था भारत में। जी हां, स्वागत है सैम पिट्रोडा का स्वराज एक्सप्रेस पर। आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है मिस्टर पिट्रोडा।
गुड, थैंक यू।
इट्स अ प्लेजर टॉकिंग टू यू मिस्टर पिट्रोडा। लेकिन मेरा जो पहला सवाल है, एक 14 मार्च का एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग ट्वीट मैंने आपका देखा था और कोरोना वायरस को लेकर था। और आपने उस ट्वीट में कहा है कि कोरोना वायरस की जो महामारी है, जो पैंडेमिक है, वो जो लाइफ के जो फंडामेंटल्स हैं उनको कहीं ना कहीं बदल डालेगा। तो आपके पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से वो क्या फंडामेंटल्स हैं जिंदगी के जो अब बदलते हुए आपको नजर आ रहे हैं?
देखिए, ये बड़ा कॉम्प्लेक्स इश्यू है क्योंकि सब लोग अपनी अपनी नजारे से इसको देखते हैं।
जी,
फ्रॉम माय पर्सपेक्टिव दिस इज ए लाइफ टाइम अपॉर्चुनिटी टू रीडिजाइन द वर्ल्ड।
ओके।
See, very few people recognize that the world was last designed after World War II. That design was predominantly led by America. That design created UN, World Bank, NATO, WTO, GDP, GNP, per capita income. We all operate knowingly, unknowingly based on that design.
Right.
That design, because of the connectivity, doesn't work anymore. Because world is connected.
Right.
All 8 billion people are connected in a very different way.
Right.
We have not understood the meaning of this connectivity.
Right.
Today, people still have traditional mindset. So they promote lies. They do trolling. They use this only for personal benefits. All of this is going to change over a period of time.
But
we need a completely new design.
Right. But Mr. Pitroda, undoubtedly, corona pandemic has been seen as a world-shattering event. Now, if I talk to you about the far-reaching consequences of this pandemic, maybe like point 1, 2, or 3, if you have to go according to that priority, what are those 3 priorities which you will really set in the present order of the world?
I think first priority from my perspective would be, when we come back, we need to really examine how we are going to use this new hyperconnectivity to change our personal life in terms of workspace, work methods, work values, all of that. It will have impact on education, health. It will have impact on governance. So the one key priority is going to be, how do we begin to restructure based on new connectivity, hyperconnectivity.
But Mr. Pitroda, here you're talking about a technological connectivity, which certainly we are connected well through internet, through various other means. But what about the exclusive structures which are coming within this order? Say, for example, if I talk about the political and the economic structures, how do you see them shaping up in the present times and also post-COVID-19, if I may ask you?
That's what I'm talking about when I talk about redesigning the world. The point is, today everything is based on financial markets. Everything is based on trade. Global leaders only talk about trades. They make deals on armaments.
Right.
They make deals on businesses. I think a lot of that hopefully will change. So we begin to really focus on 2 most important things in this world from my perspective.
Okay.
One is our planet, which doesn't belong to us. We belong to the planet because there are other species and we have been given a sort of, different message from corona that you are not the only one.
Right.
I have power to destroy your financial market also.
Right.
And the other thing that really matters is people. We have really not taken care of our planet properly, and we have not taken care of our people properly.
Right. So planet and people both are two very important components on which apparently the governments have not really paid their attention well, and this corona pandemic has really exposed the governments as far as these two components are concerned. But if I were to ask you, the political structures within all the nations, where be it America, be it Europe, be it any continent, there is a feeling that all the governments within their systems are trying to centralize all the powers as much as they can. And would the governments, would the present setup be really ready to relinquish or abandon those kind of centralized powers? There is a doubt on that.
My view on this is a very different view.
Okay.
I believe there is a knee-jerk reaction to connectivity right now. Everybody is afraid that we're going to lose our power. Mm-hmm. Everybody is concerned that people will be more empowered, which is a fact.
Right.
Okay. So all democracies today are trying to go back. Nationalism, patriotism, and this is all irrelevant today. Mm-hmm. Because the world has no borders. Coronavirus has shown you that there are no borders. Okay.
But Mr. Pitroda, there is a feeling that the world is becoming less free, less open. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
Which is true, and that's the knee-jerk reaction I'm talking about.
Okay.
Okay. Agree that world has become more authoritarian. Mm-hmm. Media is not given the freedom that media should have. And if you look at all the world leaders, whether it is in US, India, Israel, Hungary, you can go on and on, to Turkey, everyone.
But Mr. Pitroda, right, you just now said that, things like nationalism, they are completely irrelevant. But the pattern which you see across continents of the world, we see that the people are inclined more towards the state, reinforcing more and more of nationalism. So is that not a little dichotomy which we see in a sense?
No, I don't, because I think we will get over this phase. If you understand knee-jerk reaction, mm-hmm. that knee-jerk reaction may last for 5 years, 10 years.
Okay.
Then we'll come to our senses that future cannot be built based on these narrow interests.
So basically you see this period as a kind of a wake-up call for all the countries, for all the systems of governance?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I see this as a wake-up call to redesign everything. Look at our governments are designed more as silos. Mm-hmm. Connectivity says you got to break silos, you got to network. Our mindset today is based on command and control. Connectivity says you got to collaborate, cooperate, build consensus. So all these leaders are old style leaders. Mm-hmm. They have no understanding of what future will demand.
But Mr. Pitroda,
everybody.
Right, but amidst all this, what happens to the concept of globalization, and especially in the economic order? Do you see the world shifting more towards a China-centric globalization or a US-centric globalization? I'm particularly talking about the economic direction.
Okay, first of all, today there are two visions in the world. American vision and Chinese vision. I firmly believe that both of these visions are fundamentally based on command and control.
Right.
And you need to create a third vision. Certain things will have to be globalized, mm-hmm. and certain things will have to be localized.
Okay.
For example, when I eat my tomato in the US, it travels 1,400 miles. Now, that's not the globalization people would prefer. People prefer to grow their tomato in their backyard.
Right.
But if I need a microprocessor chip, every country can't make microprocessor chip.
But
So
Mr.
that will have to be
Pitroda,
globalized.
in the Indian context, how would you see things? The way the Indian government has catered to the present crisis, we've seen the markets disrupted. We've seen the incompetence of the government when it comes to handling of the migrant laborers. You've seen all images across how there has been a massive exodus of migrant laborers. It's like a complete failure of all the policy making over the years. What is your view on the present scenario, the way the government has handled all this?
To me, the most important thing in this crisis is to take care of our people.
Which has not happened.
India has
Which has not happened.
large number of poor people. So when I see hundreds of thousands of people at borders in UP, when I see large number of people at train station, it bothers me. It tells me that we are not really taking care of poorest of the poor. See, all rich will take care of themselves. They know how to isolate. They know social distancing. But poor people have to survive.
Right.
We have really not taken care of them. And on top of that, we are also communalizing this whole thing. You know, when I see some messages on TV and all, it's all about communalization of coronavirus. It's just not done. But what do? You know, if you say something, there will be 1,000 paid trolls will jump at you, ridicule you, you know, and it's just bad character that is coming out.
But Mr.
What
Pitroda,
frustrates me
you
is
started
the character.
Right. You started the technological revolution in the country. You're known to be the telecom man. And with so much of technology and tall campaigns being built around the technology, then also we see on the ground things completely failing, things completely falling apart. It's like a social collapse almost. So how do you feel that has the technology been dealt with properly when it comes to implementation? Say, for example, the distribution of rations, despite all the assurances of the government, things on the ground are just not happening. They're just not moving.
Because technology is not really done right
Okay.
for implementation. It's a lot of conversation. You know, people talk about digital platform, digital technology. They have no idea what they're talking about. Leaders.
Okay.
I, along with a lot of other colleagues, Nandan and others, put infrastructure together for Digital India during Dr. Manmohan Singh's time.
Right.
And when I talk to technical people, it is very clear that we have not taken all of that to the masses. So you talk about bank accounts, but you can't deliver money to them. You talk about ration, but you can't deliver it to them because you haven't done all the work. You've just talked about it. And it's disturbing for someone like me.
बिल्कुल. तो आपने कहा
That
कि
we
बहुत
cannot use technology today to help our poor.
तो आप कह रहे हैं कि बहुत बड़ी बड़ी बातें की गई हैं, लेकिन जिस तरह से लोगों तक चीजें पहुंचनी चाहिए थी, और डिस्पाइट जितने भी बड़े बड़े जो डिजिटल कैंपेन्स हैं और सारे जो वादे सरकार ने किए थे कि हम गांव-गांव तक लोगों तक राशन और सारे पैसे और जितनी भी चीजें हैं पीडीएस रिलेटेड, वो सारी चीजें लोगों तक पहुंचेंगी, वो नहीं पहुंची हैं. मिस्टर पिट्रोडा, एक आरोग्य सेतु नाम का एक ऐप है जो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने अभी लॉन्च किया है और उसका ऑब्जेक्टिव ये है कि जो कोरोना पॉजिटिव पेशेंट्स हैं उनके बारे में पता चले कि वो कब उनको इन्फेक्शन हुआ, वो कहाँ जा रहे हैं. तो एक तरीके से मैस सर्वेलेंस इसको कहा जा रहा है कि किस तरह से ट्रैक किया जा रहा है. ये आरोग्य सेतु कितना हेल्पफुल होगा लोगों के लिए, आपसे समझना चाहेंगे.
देखिए, आरोग्य सेतु जैसी एप्लीकेशंस सब जगह आ रही है. गूगल कह रहे हैं, एप्पल वाले कह रहे हैं. एप्लीकेशन बड़ी सीधी है. Because when you use cell phone, they can track you. Where you are. Now they can track you who you have interacted with in proximity.
Right.
Through Bluetooth. Okay. So it's a tool. If that tool can be used to control coronavirus, it's a great tool. We should use it. when coronavirus settles, we should scrap it.
Right.
But what happens many times is governments all over want to use these things for surveillance. So there is an issue of privacy.
So you agree with what the cyber security experts are saying, because they say that it's a breach of privacy, it's a breach of fundamental rights. Do you also see this as the same thing?
See, if I'm nearby, if I don't turn on my Bluetooth, you know. So that option has to be mine.
Mm-hmm.
You can't force me to turn on my Bluetooth. I may not want to do it. So if I don't do it, that application has no meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So of course there are issues of privacy, piracy, but these issues are very common. Today, we must recognize that information brings about openness, accessibility, connectivity, networking, democratization, decentralization, accountability. But governments are not designed to take advantage of it.
But don't you think that the
They
governments,
turned it around.
Mr. Pitroda, don't you think that the governments, I'm talking about not just the Indian government, any government of the day, would use these kind of tools as some kind of a social control, and they would never want to come out of it?
Yeah, but you see, then again you go back to the mindset of the leaders. Today, if you look at the world, world really don't have the kind of leader world needs. Most of them are narrow-minded, petty, into personal propaganda. They lie through their teeth to public. Public accepts it. Sad. You know, how can leader lie to public and get away with it?
Right.
We don't have Gandhian leadership anymore. World over, you don't have a tall leader in the world who can set the direction. And that is what world needs today. You have bad examples all over.
But isn't it ironical, you say that the world needs Gandhian principles, but none of the world leaders are wanting to practice these kind of principles. So how does the world go forward in a complete absence of Gandhism, where the world is actually sitting on a mound of propaganda? So how do things move forward?
Because they think through this new technology they can control power. But they don't realize at the end of the day in life what matters is truth, trust, love, inclusion, diversity. You cannot build a nation today based on dividing people.
But if you
got to add everybody with you.
But Mr.
And it's a problem in US also.
If you see the troll army, Mr. Pitroda, if you see the troll army, the way it functions on social media platforms, apparently these few virtues which you and me are talking about right now, it feels that they are completely misplaced in the present order of the things.
Yeah, but I feel sorry for them. I feel very sorry for them that they are so petty. They have no self-respect. Okay? They are hurting themselves. They don't realize. Okay? You got to really have broad-minded approach in life. You can't be petty about everything.
But coming back to... Right. But Mr. Pitroda, coming back to Arogya Setu app, people feel, and there's a large section of people which has a number of reservations about this app, that it's a breach of privacy, it's a breach of fundamental rights, it's a tool of mass surveillance. Now, how does one implement this? A large section of people feel that there should be a law to implement the way Arogya Setu should run around. So, what is your view on this? Should there be a law to implement Arogya Setu application?
See, before announcing any of these things, you need to have public debate in a democracy. You need to have dialogue. You need to build consensus. But some government feel that they can control all the institutions without building consensus. I mean, look at what is going on in media today. It's completely biased. But that's my view. We are all concerned about judiciary as well. Okay? Police. So when you begin to...
Yes, go ahead. You were saying something.
Institutions take away their autonomy, you undermine democracy.
Right. But Mr. Pitroda, when you talk about applications like Arogya Setu and seen as a breach of privacy, seen as a breach of fundamental rights, but there are other applications which all of a sudden, are imposed on the people. Say, for example, the way Zoom application is currently being used all across the world for video conferencing, for holding meetings, for online classes. But then there is a large section of people who feels that Zoom is somewhere encroaching upon your lives the way it shouldn't be doing it. What is your view on Zoom?
Then you should use Zoom.
How do you restrain when the world is using it? Mr. Sam Pitroda would be knowing the nitty-gritties of Zoom, so you wouldn't. But when the world is using it, so how do you refrain yourself from doing it?
No, first of all, you have to decide what you want to do with your life. Okay? For example, this interview, you requested me, I agreed. It was my option. You gave me an option.
It's a pleasure, sir.
So we all have to decide how we want to run our life. We are still a democratic country. I have a right to speak up. You can troll. You can disagree. I respect that.
But Mr. Pitroda, in times like... No, but in times of a lockdown... But Mr. Pitroda, in times of a lockdown where everybody is working from home, schools are closed, colleges are shut, students don't have an option but to take that option of going online through Zoom, because all the classroom teaching is happening through Zoom right now. So how does one, pick and choose in an option like this? Because you don't have a choice. There is no alternative over Zoom.
First of all, since we are all locked up, we need to continue our normal activities.
Okay.
And if video conferencing is one way to continue our normal activities, it's great. Why not? Give an example. I have a grandson and granddaughter in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. They are cooked up because they are locked in. Children want to go out and play, but they can't play.
Right.
So every day I have 1 hour with them where we do paintings together. We play together. We had never done that before that way. We just used to talk. So you have to find your own space, your own tools. Some may be comfortable with it. Some may not be comfortable with it.
But Mr. Pitroda, given the kind of
calls again.
Right, but given the kind of experience you've had with technology and with observing the governance structures, from a very close end, in context of this present pandemic, how soon do you think that the world will start moving towards a positive direction? Because right now it's a complete gloom and doom picture for everyone.
I'm not a health expert, but I can tell you, based on whatever I read and understand and learn, that this is not going to be sorted out in few months.
Okay.
You can essentially write off 2020.
Okay.
In the history of mankind, 2020 would be seen as a year not for the Vision 2020, but for Corona 2020.
You've given the tailpiece of our interview.
Corona 2020 will force us to have vision beyond 2020.
Okay.
So a lot of things.
And very quickly, Mr. Pitroda, because I have to wind up the interview and there's a shortage of time as well. In one line, if I were to ask you, what is that one suggestion you would like to give to the Modi government in the present context?
I would say, take care of our poor. Take care of poorest of the poor. They need us badly. Give money to them like the Nyaya scheme.
Okay.
Put money in their pocket now. Make sure that they get it and not some middleman take most of it.
Okay.
Use technology to deliver what they really need. They need support.
Okay.
Don't worry about rich. They'll all take care of themselves.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Pitroda. It was a pleasure having you on the program. और स्वराज एक्सप्रेस के इस खास कार्यक्रम ऑन रिकॉर्ड में इतना ही। फिर से मुलाकात होगी किसी और शख्सियत के साथ। आप बने रहिएगा स्वराज एक्सप्रेस पर।